Alright, today you're going to learn how to make an entire song in Pro Tools from scratch. So first of all, go down to the Pro Tools icon and just click on that once and Pro Tools should open up automatically. Make sure you've got your M-Box plugged into the computer, and for this activity you also need to have your MIDI keyboard plugged into the computer as well. Something I'll just mention as well is that the kind of things you're going to be learning today, I'm going to be throwing a lot of information at you, and it doesn't matter if you don't remember it all. The point is I want you to be able to go into Pro Tools, muck around and enjoy yourself and just get used to the way Pro Tools works. So you don't have to copy everything I do, that's for sure. But I want to give you a good idea of what's possible. So first of all, we're going to create a blank session. So when Pro Tools gives you this list, that's the one you want to choose. Press, actually I might even go down here to where it says session parameters, and these are some good settings to use: 16-bit and 44.1 kilohertz. Press OK, and I just call this one my first song. Looks like I've already got something in there called my first song, so I'll just call it first song. Alright, so this is a blank Pro Tools session. There's no tracks, so if I press play, nothing would happen. So the first thing we're going to do here, I'm going to go up to the track menu and press new. Now every time you add a track, it doesn't matter what kind of track it is, that's what you have to do. You go track, new. Once you get this window, this is where all your choices are. You can choose mono or stereo tracks. Today we're going to choose stereo for the first instrument, which is a piano. And over on the left here, these are all the different kinds of tracks we can use. First one I'm going to make is an instrument track. Now an instrument track is for recording off a keyboard. It's not for recording guitars or voices. It's just for MIDI instruments or keyboard instruments. So I'll choose that one and press create. Alright, there it is. Now, if you've just copied what I've done, you may not have these empty slots on your track. Yours might look like this. Just give me a moment. Like that. Now, if yours looks like that, you will actually need to get some of those extra screens to be visible. So here's how I did it. Go to the view menu, and we're going to choose what things are visible in the edit window. So the main one that we need for now is this one here called inserts A to E, and I may also bring up this one here called I/O. Those two. I/O means in and out. It allows us to choose what signals come into Pro Tools and where they go out. So first of all, if you've got this thing here called inserts A to E, if you've done the previous tutorial, you know a little bit about inserts. They're like sound effects. But in this case, with an instrument track, we're going to insert a software instrument. So if I go to my plugin list and go down to instrument, here we've got a bunch of different software instruments to choose from. I'm going to choose Mini Grand, which is like a sampled piano sound. Alright, there it is. It's just loading at the moment. Just let it finish. Okay, so I've actually got my piano keyboard plugged in right now, and if I play something on it, the sound comes through because it's playing through this this piano plugin. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go up to the track menu and I'm going to choose create click track. And what that's going to do is give me a little bit of a metronome to play along to. Like that. If I don't want the metronome, I can hit the M button to mute it, and then I won't hear it anymore. But right now, I do actually want to have a metronome there. Okay, now, an instrument track doesn't record sound. what it records is the actual notes that come from the piano. So it records information like which note I pressed, when I pressed it, when I let go of it, and how hard I hit it. So I'll give you an example of what that looks like. Here's how you record something. Click on this little sort of circular button here. When I do that, the track is ready to record. Now if I go up to my playback controls and press record enable, then I press play and the recording actually begins. Alright, now keep an eye on that little blue line that's appearing there on my track. If I play a few notes and press stop, see those little symbols that are sort of sitting inside my track. I'll zoom in on that. Those are the notes that I played. So as you can see, it doesn't record the sound from my keyboard, it records the notes that I played. What that means is after I've performed my part if I don't like that piano sound, I can go in and change it afterwards without having to re-record the whole track. So if I click on Mini Grand and I choose, right now it's set for real piano, but if I want to put it on a different type of piano like dance piano, let's move this out of the way and play it again. See, it's got a different sort of sound to it. Or if I go to soft, it's a different piano tone. So I'm going to keep it on real. But that's the idea of MIDI. It allows you to play something first and muck around with it a bit later. So I'll zoom out again. Alright, I think I'm ready to make a start here. So I'm going to click the back button to sort of put the playback marker right at the start of the song. I'm going to hit record enable and I'm going to play my first piano part in on the keyboard. Press play. Alright, there we go. That's the piano part from a song called Cantaloupe Island by Herbie Hancock. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start layering up some more instruments. So I'm going to go up to my track menu, go new. I'm going to press, I'm going to leave it on mono this time because I'm going to add a bass part. So we want another instrument track. Press create. Okay, this time I'm going to rename my track just to keep things nice and neat and tidy. So where it says instrument 2, I'm going to double click on there and type the word bass. And while I'm at it, I'll go back to this one, type in piano. Okay, so on my bass track here, I'm going to click on one of the empty slots, go to plugin, go to instrument, and then I'm going to go down to this one here called expand 2. Now this is a plugin that's got 300 or 400 different kinds of sounds in it. Including basses, so that's where I'm going to get my basses from. Now, if all of these different, knobs and switches don't mean anything to you, that's okay. I hardly ever use them myself. You just go up to the preset menu here, click on it, and you've got a big list of instruments to choose from. So I'm going to choose basses, and I want to find like a nice double bass. There we go, double bass. Let's have a listen to what that sounds like. Yeah, that's pretty cool, like a nice jazzy sort of a bass. So I'm going to record this by clicking on the red circular thing there. It's going to arm the track. Click record enable and then press play. Here we go. Okay, so now I've got a bass part. We're going to make another part. We're going to make a drum part. So I'm going to press track, new. Drums, I like them to sound stereo, so I'm going to click that. And then we're going to go to instrument track again. There's my new track. So rename the track drums. Alright, I'm going to click in an empty insert and I'm going to add another instance of expand 2. Okay, so I'm going to go up to my preset menu, go to the drums sub menu, and I think I'm just going to go down here to this one here called Pop Kit. Let's have a listen to that. Alright, so it's sort of a natural, normal sounding sort of a drum kit sound. Now, the way I'm going to put this drum kit in is each key on the piano has a different drum sample attached to it. Now, I've learnt to play drums on the piano, and so I prefer to do it that way. I prefer to press record and actually play all the notes in. But if you're not used to doing that, you could do it with a mouse. It just takes a lot longer and it may not sound as natural. But I'm going to demonstrate what it's like when you play the drums in. So I'll hit record. I'll press record enable and then play. Okay, so we're going to add another track now, a melody track. So stereo again for this one, and instrument track. I'm going to press create. So this one I'm going to call it organ. We're going to make it like a cool bluesy sounding organ. So if I click on an empty slot, go down to my instrument list once again and choose DB33. This is like a really cool, like a Ray Charles sort of sounding organ. Okay, so that's ready to go. I'll press my record enable button, press play, press record standby and then play. Okay, so we've got all the basic elements of a song there, but I do want to add a guitar part in there. So up until now I've been using all MIDI instruments, but I really want to add in like a real guitar part. So here's how I'll do it. I'll go up to track, click on new, and this time I want to make it an audio track, not an instrument track, because audio means actual sound, something that came from an instrument or from a microphone. And I'm going to leave it mono because a guitar is a mono sounding instrument. So let's press create. I'm going to call this one guitar. Now, in order to plug a guitar into Pro Tools, you need to have a guitar lead and you need to run it into either input 1 or input 2 on the back of the M box. There's a bunch of different buttons on the back that you need to make sure that they've got the right settings on them. Because if you don't, then you won't hear any sound come through. If you're curious about what the right button to press is, it should be, you should probably have DI selected, not mic, if you're using input 1. So I've already done that. I've got my guitar plugged into input 1, and in Pro Tools as well, when you do that, you've got to make sure that over here, we haven't talked about this yet, but where it says I/O, this is the I/O column here, this is where you choose which input Pro Tools is going to record from. So if you've plugged your guitar into input 1, then you need to make sure that line 1 is selected. If you've plugged your guitar into line 2, then line 2 is the one that you've got to make sure you select, like that. But for now, mic 1. Alright, let's pop the end of the lead into my guitar. Press the record enable button. If I play now, you can see the volume slider goes up and down. That means it's getting a good healthy signal. If that signal hits red up the top, it means it's too loud and you've got to turn it down on the front of the M box. If it was barely visible, then that means it's too quiet. But right there where we've got it is a pretty good level. Okay, so let's go ahead and record this part. Alright, so my guitar track is ready to record, and then I'm going to go up and press record standby and press play. Here we go. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, the guitar part is actually represented in a different way to what the MIDI instrument is represented. It's pretty clear if I zoom in. The MIDI tracks, or the instrument tracks, they record the notes that were played individually, whereas the audio track just records the sound levels coming in. So this represents volume, not actual notes in the guitar part. So let's have a little bit of a listen to the track. I'm going to turn the click track off, press play with the space bar. So that's alright. The guitar to me though sounds very unnatural because I plugged it straight into the M box. It wasn't running into an amp. So I'm going to use a plug-in on my guitar track, which is going to make it sound more like a real instrument. I'll go to the harmonic list and choose 11. Okay, so if I go up here and from the preset menu, I'm going to choose clean and vintage clean because that's sort of like a jazzy sort of a sound. So let's have I'm going to solo the guitar track, press play. Let's have a little listen. Might turn the treble down a bit. Turn the presence down, a bit more bass, a bit more middle. Yep, that's good. Okay, now I'm going to switch to my mix window next, pressing Command equals. Okay, now I'm going to adjust the volume levels of the various instruments. To me, the guitar sounds too loud, so I'm going to turn that down. The melody's not loud enough, so I'm going to turn that up. The bass could be a bit louder too. Good. Okay, so we're pretty much done. What you should do, definitely don't copy my song or don't copy everything I did, but do what you want to do. So if you want to grab a keyboard and put some drums in or start making a little song, then you know how to make instrument tracks now and you know how to record audio tracks. You could even record a microphone the same way that I did the guitar part. You could record a voice the same way. Good luck. Have fun.